I'll be right with you.
This show is intended for adult audiences. You know, people with bills, backaches, responsibilities, and a functioning sense of humor. It contains strong language, stronger opinions, and the kind of jokes that might send the emotionally fragile into a full-blown meltdown. If you're easily offended, perpetually outraged, or think words are violence, this is your cue to clutch your pearls, grab a blankie, and sprint to your nearest safe space. Or, you know, just get in the sea. We won't miss you. For everyone else, buckle up and let's have some laughs.
Rated D for dickhead.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body?
I'm gonna come.
Nice tits.
A real setup of donkers. Packing some Doban hunkeros. Baghanaga hooks. Humongous hungalamga no logangas.
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people, and maybe say it's not a good thing.
I don't really care, Margaret.
Hello. I'm off. Basically, run.
What's going down, babes? Show me the loving.
Silence! You are too gay to be the doctor.
I'm wonderful, and I'm the most amazing person in the universe.
Exterminate!
Go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them. With the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
But hey, that's just a theory. A theory.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown.
Why are you running? Let's take some dope.
I am like,
I have had hallucinations on weed before.
if I get that high,
Them babies, Alyssa. Disabilities. I wanted to finish Elden Ring, goddammit.
He's a piece of shit.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
the reason why DEI was put in place in the first place was incredibly disingenuous racism and sexism, people being discriminated against. This was put in place to try and
Disillusion young dudes.
white men or straight people. Someone's getting a job over them that doesn't deserve it. People are missing out on jobs that deserve it more than a person who's getting it because they're a woman or because they're black. These people are making a lot of money, print money, cash, money,
well,
capitalism, raise a bunch of money, more money, heaps and heaps of.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Bad news.
Engines roar through the ash gray skies. The wasteland burns, but hope won't die. Every screen's a twisted lie, built to break us, make us comply. They poison the heroes, rewrite the tales, turn legends to dust, leave us frail. But we're not done, we won't
Oh, what the hell? What the hell? StreamYard, what the hell? Oh. Well, that was quite the inauspicious start, wasn't it, my friends? What the freaking flanging fook was that? Okay, for those who have just shown up, we had a bit of a hiccup. The show is half an hour late. For some reason, 3 attempts, 3 individual streams I created, and each one, StreamYard, just failed to actually send the signal to YouTube, or YouTube failed to receive it. So I restarted everything, reinstalled a couple of things, went in and changed the auto start to actually be enabled, even though it was already enabled. I don't know which one of these things fixed it, but all I can tell you is we're in fucking business.
Yes!
All right.
Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
Oh boy, it's almost enough to make me completely forget what the hell I was actually going to do today. But hey, everybody, welcome back. Yes, apparently, for once, truly straight out of hell, it's WILL. Yeah, baby, welcome back to Will of the Fans. My name's Will, you know the drill. And it's drive time somewhere, which means it's hyperdrive time everywhere. You understand how these things work, of course. So, ladies, gentlemen, and nothing in between, welcome once again to another voyage of discovery, racing through the wastes of the internet to the further reaches of sanity on a never-ending quest to rid the universe of absolute bollocks. Yeah. Good God. All right, so before we set off, please ensure you have your brains inside the vehicle at all times with your eyeballs firmly screwed to the screen, and let's see who's here. But before I do all that, I just wanted to shout out Smegheads, who gifted 5 Will Fans memberships, 5 of the Princess's Grift Force members.
He's a speed. He's a speed. He's a smeg. He's a smeg. Hey.
That's right. He gifted them, but he gifted them in an earlier iteration of this show that was one of the dead streams that I couldn't get to connect. I didn't want to let it slip my mind because I really appreciate it. Thank you very much to Smegheads. And I'll get to the rest of you in just a second. You've been quite generous. It's actually kind of surprising. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Anyway, let's have a look then. Who is here already? We have got a few people, especially I'm really very happy that you all managed to make it, because I couldn't even link this version in a previous stream because I had to completely shut it all down and delete every trace of the stream, rename it, and all kinds of other bollocks. So I'm glad we all made it. Thank you for being here, guys. It's a pleasure to see you this lovely Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday everywhere at this point. Yeah. Even in New Zealand, I think. So we'll find out maybe. Lilith's here with the snakes. Barry Stroud is here as well. Said he thought he'd give drag racing a try, but running in heels is a nightmare. Buddy. All right, I'll let this one go. But damn, man, you're going to punish me like that? At least tape some money to it. God damn, that was awful. That was awful. That was truly awful. Yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Who else we got? Barry Stroud says, as one of door closes, another opens. Lovely man, terrible carpenter. A priest, an imam, and a rabbit walk into a blood bank. Damn autocorrect. What the shit? Smeghead says he knows why this is happening. The gods have smited Will for rating Gran Turismo too low on the list last night. Well, you are salty about this. I know you are. It's fine, but try to understand. It's a franchise ranking, not individual games. If it was individual iterations of each game in the franchise, it would be a very different list. Because, well, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 pretty much, not Grand Theft Auto, I mean Gran Turismo 1 and 2 are pretty much goated. I don't even remember 3 very well, and whatever they're up to now, it's just got worse, and further away from the core concept of premium driving simulator and much closer to gacha games. So that's why it ended up balancing out as mid. This is why The Last of Us was even lower than that. even though The Last of Us 1 was, at least when it first came out, an unbelievable classic that legitimized gaming as an art form. You understand, I shouldn't have to explain myself this much. It was just a silly throwaway ranking list, buddy. But hey, I appreciate you guys. I do. I really do. By the way, shout out to MagesGuild. I'm not sure if he's here or if he's even able to attend today. He said he's got some issues with his family. A family member who is in intensive care, unfortunately. So thoughts, prayers, support, please do all of those things, because whether you believe it or not, they really do help. So please be very kind and respectful about that. And if you do get to talk to MagesGuild, offer condolences. You know, all those things that the left will never do. So there's that. I did promise I would do a shout out for that, so there we go. We are here. It's HyperDrive time. We've got a lengthy preamble, it seems, because you guys are being very generous. We've got pre-stream legends today. My God, that never happens on this channel. Okay, I got to do a quick little bit of maths. That's 6, 11, and there we go. Okay, cool. Right. 1 second. 1 second. And I will update this bar above me. For the Princess's Grift Force now sits at 12 out of a potential 50. Remember, guys, if we get to this bar above me being filled, the 50 membership bar, we are on a bound to turn this into a Jackbox stream where you can play games with us, drawing and making mockery comments of each other and all that other stuff. And of course, if you want to super chat me, this bar is for today only and will result in a lot of hilarity and titties and fan service and such. And my heartfelt thanks, of course, as well. So there's that. Appreciate you guys. I'm a little flustered. You know, it's really not fun when you have a job to do and you know, they say a bad workman blames his tools, but I swear to all that is good and holy in this universe, this fucking software hates me. It just does not ever want me to stream. Even YouTube apparently wants me to stream more than StreamYard. So there we go. Now, we've got a few gifties and grifties that have come in, so I appreciate you guys there. First up, we've got Gutty Grifter as a new member. Hello, appreciate you being here. And that's nice to see. Thanks for jumping in and joining. And well appreciated. The membership all goes towards the nappies and formula fund for the princesses of the fans. And he goes and shares the wealth with 5 more memberships for all you lucky people.
There's one thing you better know, and that is, I love all of y'all. Listen, can I explain something to you about being a daddy?
Don't try to frighten us with your devotion.
The daddy is the breadwinner. You dig what I'm saying? And if you don't win that bread, it just don't come around.
I believe it. If you don't win that bread, you just don't come around, buddy. That's how it works, or at least that's how it used to work when James Earl Jones recorded that line for another movie, and it was edited over Darth Vader, because that's just bloody hilarious. Goody Grifter is here again and says for a New Zealand tenner, I think that's New Zealand. Yeah, there's nowhere else with an NZ, is there? For 10 New Zealand dollars says, hopefully Ryan Roger Athay can return to YouTube. I miss that legend. Yeah, Ryan, I've told him personally now. I know Smash JT mentioned it as well, but I literally messaged Ryan earlier on and said, mate, you have got to at least ask Team YouTube to get your channel back right now. This is the best opportunity you will ever get. So I really hope he does. If he tweets Team YouTube, I will happily retweet it. I will happily add to it, but he has to start it himself. It has to come from him initially, because there's an application process or something. Apparently it's an opportunity for people to get their channels back. Now, I don't know if it'll work or not, but in the meantime, of course, there are other ways to find Ryan. I'm sure you know what they are. One of them is reality based on Rumble. And then there's another way that I'm not going to talk about here because I don't want to incriminate anybody. But there we go. Thank you for the 10. Appreciate you. So I will be kind and give you a lovely Yoko.
Drop it.
What a legend. 5 members, 6 memberships, including himself, and a tenner. Wow. Thank you very much. Smegheads, also having dropped 5 memberships earlier on, is here with an Australian too. Says that's what you get for not goating Gran Turismo. Ha 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 ha.
He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smig. Hey.
And Furious Dan is here as well. Shout out to Furious Dan. And he told me earlier on that his channel is starting to actually grow, which is a fantastic thing. I've suddenly noticed recently, just recently, and I mean this week, that my subs are going up again, where they haven't for like 3 months. Now, I've obviously tried much harder to adhere to a streaming and uploading schedule now that my kid's birth is in the rear view and stuff like that. So, you know, that might have helped too, but I can't help but feel like I am not doing anything that different from what I was doing in the first half of the year, and suddenly the water is running again. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. Obviously, we are going to get into the YouTube thing. We are going to get into the Jimmy Kimmel thing. We are going to have a lot of laughs at the games industry and just generally get through as much news and stuff as we possibly can, unless and until, of course, somebody decides to blow up this bar and turn it into a Jackbox stream. But until then, I'm still definitely going to be reporting the news. So there we go. Gutty or Gooty, you're going to have to tell me how you want me to pronounce that, buddy. Grifter, for another 2, says it's early Thursday morning here now. Well, there you go. Fuck me, am I right? Is it really? Is that really the time now in New Zealand? I suppose it is. It's almost 10 o'clock in the Philippines. So there you go. I'm not that far away from you, pal. Appreciate you for the 2. Thank you very much. Really do. It's really meaningful. Yeah! Stephen Bromby is here. It says, "Hail, Will. Nice. You are finally, you are live." So there are now 2 kinds of Smeghead. 1, Jimmy Kimmel, and 2, StreamYard. Yeah. StreamYard's, I don't think even Smeghead is bad enough to describe StreamYard. I'm thinking
I've got the faggot king here, Richard, to tell me about that.
Something a bit more like that, because it does seem like I just get screwed over all the time by StreamYard. I don't know what their issue is with me. I don't know what I've done to annoy them so much, but hey, I guess it is what it is, right? But well, they can kiss my ass anyway. Anyway, Paul Thomas Ashworth rocks up and drops another 5 Will of the Fans memberships. That's more green for Princess of the Fans, more for the Griff Force.
There's one thing you better know, and that is, I love all of y'all. Listen, can I explain something to you about being a daddy?
Don't try to frighten us with your devotion.
Daddy is the breadwinner. You dig what I'm saying? And if you don't win that bread, it just don't come around.
Hey, thank you very much.
There's one thing you better know.
Oh, don't do that again. Let's not do that. Miss Molly's here for a €1.19 super sticker. And I didn't get to see what it was, so let's scroll up and have a look-see. It's an angry face. Wow. Someone's on the blob then. Oh, well, that's okay. So's my wife. That's a good reason to be hiding in here and streaming. I might have given up on a normal day, but no, actually she's being lovely. I'm just being an asshole. There you go. Gooty Grifter, which way do you want me to pronounce it? Have you actually confirmed in the chat how I'm supposed to pronounce that? Nope, all I'm seeing is spears. More and more spears and Ryan Roger at the emojis. People really loved Ryan. I think if he gets back, I got a spot for him on the panel on WTF Live where he can come and get back what was his. No problem. We'll have a 4-man show. It will be fucking great. Says, play the waifu clip again. Well, I actually have several clips that you'd be very interested in seeing if you like things like that. There's the one that I played for you, which is the 10er, then there's the 20er, then there's the 50er, then there's the bar gets to halfway and the bar gets all the way. You're gonna have a good time. Stick around.
Drop it.
There we go, baby. That's right. What's that? Barry Stroud says, if you don't win that bread, don't come around. You mean, would you like some toast? Do I need a Talkie Toaster soundbite? Is that what I need now? A clip of Talkie Toaster saying, would you like any toast? Because, or maybe we'll get the original Talkie Toaster for that one, and then we could have, if given that you got that God is infinite and the universe is also infinite, would you like a toasted tea cake, or whatever the fucking line was? Yes, we do an awful lot of Red Dwarf references here because on our Sunday show, we are reviewing Red Dwarf every week. And this week, we will be wrapping up Series 4. So look forward to us ranking the episodes on Tuesday's show next week, of course. Wow, is that it? I think I'm caught up with the donos so far. You guys are pretty excellent, I gotta say. This is a good start. I would love to see these bars get filled up. And again, if someone wants to make this member bar full, it becomes a gaming stream. It becomes an audience participation stream. And that seems to be a very, very, very popular thing right now. Oh, there we go. I can see already we're getting Team YouTube tagged as Ryan has tagged right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen before we get into the news. Guys, hang on a second and I will show you what I mean. Hold on. I hope I haven't lost. Yes, I have. I've lost the connection. Of course I have. Thank you again, StreamYard. You son of a bitch. Whoa. Not that one. That's gone. That's my intro. All right. Hang on a second. There we go. There we go. There's Ryan's tweet. Yes, that's right, guys. It doesn't all come off the top of my head. I need a few mental prompts every now and then to remember all the crazy shit that I have to say. I know. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. So Ryan's here. He's on X, and he says, Team YouTube, it's been over 4 months since I was, pro streamer, I know, yeah. Since I was deplatformed for daring to speak my mind. Now Google has made this commitment. When I will return, I would like my channel back solely so I can return to shows I was part of, hosted by Real Hypnotic, Wad, Will of the Fans, and Smash JT, etc. Yeah, I know. Amateur hour streamer, by the way, guys. In my defense, normally I handle all this shit before the show starts. But thanks to Stream Cunts, I wasn't able to do that today. So there we go. There we go. We will get into, of course, the YouTube story and how it's related to it. And I will make damn sure to mention Ryan in that mix as well. It's got 5 retweets already, including mine. Guys, get out there, find this tweet, retweet it, tell Team YouTube you want Ryan back, and let's get him his channel back. Damn straight. This is as good a chance as we will ever get. Okay, there we go. Now, that was quite the dodgy intro. It's been 25 minutes. And I haven't even begun talking about news yet. That's because you guys are fucking excellent. Alrighty, what we got? That's fine. We're all up to date on that. So, yeah, which should we talk about first? Jimmy Kimmel or YouTube? I'm thinking guys are going to want to talk about YouTube. The YouTube thing is completely insane at this moment. Completely insane. And it's absolutely understandable why people would want to. That's not, even though Jimmy Kimmel's around and the Charlie Kirk situation is what it is, we are also dealing with a situation where this is literally our livelihoods and we've all been completely fucked over for years and years and years and years. So, you might be able to say, this is the big one. I think this is the big one, guys. At the precipice of sounding really hyperbolic. I think this might be one of the most dramatic and important changes that has happened as a result of the Donald Trump 47th presidency of the United States. YouTube has confessed that they have indeed been censoring conservatives, censoring anti-left, censoring anybody who had something to say that wasn't entirely positive about a certain poke, censoring people who thought that the 2020 election was extremely suspicious. Now, you know this, I know this, we all know this. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy. The problem was we couldn't prove it. We were never permitted or afforded the opportunity to just straight up say, you guys are 100% putting your thumb on the scale and screwing all of us out of honest to God revenue that we should have earned for our bloody hard work. But now, as a result of the House Judiciary GOP, well, it does indeed appear that Google is having to admit to massive, I think, illegal censorship. And, of course, how are they going to go ahead and avoid taking any of the actual blame for this? Because it is, of course, Google. And they never take any blame for anything that they do, even when you catch them red-handed multiple times over multiple years. Well, it's real simple, actually. It turns out you can just throw the ex-president of the United States right under the bus. I mean, it's not like he'd notice anyway. He's probably too busy dribbling and emptying himself into a colostomy bag at this point. But at the end of the day, is it really Biden's fault? And when I say Biden, I, of course, mean the administration. Nothing's Biden's fault. The guy doesn't even know his own name. But is it really the fault of the Biden administration? Because I think I remember things a little differently. Okay. Let's take a look at everything that is going on regarding YouTube's confession of massive censorship under the Biden administration. And once again, remember, this is big. This isn't just some random thing that will get swept under the rug. You may well find, if you're a YouTuber like I am, that things become noticeably better for you in the next few days, weeks, etc. And frankly, I think we're gonna be talking about this one for quite a long time. So let's begin by getting straight into this one then. Of course, we can see here this tweet came out. There were two, one from the representative himself, Jim Jordan, and one from the House Judiciary GOP Twitter account, X account, whatever you say, big win for freedom. Says here, Google admits censorship under Biden, promises to end bans of YouTube accounts of thousands of Americans censored for political speech. So, thanks to the oversight of Chairman Jim Jordan, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations on topics such as COVID-19 and elections an opportunity to return to the platform. By the way, I got a funny feeling that I don't have to say "coof" anymore. I don't think I have to say "Wuhan whoop" anymore or "Kung flu." I think I might just be able to say COVID-19 without fear of reprisal. So that's kind of nice for me. But there we go anyway. Google has admitted the following to the House Judiciary Committee. The Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans and remove content that did not violate YouTube's policies. That is massive. Okay? You knew this was happening. I knew this was happening. You could feel it was happening. You could see it was happening. Everyone was saying it was happening. It was happening. And now, I mean, this is the thing. This is going to be the running motif of this. Everyone was right. Again. We were right. We knew they were screwing us, and they were screwing us. What happens if they ever try it again? I mean, we'll all know they're doing it, won't we? Number two, the Biden administration's censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Number 3, public debate should never come at the expense of relying authorities. Okay. Now, this is the stupid thing, right? If it's unacceptable and wrong, where was your legal attack on the administration? Where was your legal counter argument that literally you could absolutely have used to stop the government doing this to you? If the Biden administration forced your hand, why didn't you rat them out? Do you think the GOP wouldn't have absolutely run with it? You could have just gone, they're trying to censor what we can do on this platform. You didn't even try to fight it. So don't, like, look, YouTube, you know, thanks and everything. We're doing okay over here. Please let us continue. But you should have fought this. Because the fact that you didn't just makes you look colossally complicit. We'll get to more of that in a second. Meanwhile, the company will never use third-party fact-checkers. Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech, including the removal of lawful content. Well, I feel like that's got a lot to do with it. I also feel like the fact that Twitch CEO has been called to appear before Congress to answer for, well, basically Hassan Piker, the anti-American rhetoric and the radicalization that goes on that platform. It means that Congress is actually going to investigate all these platforms, and there'll be nowhere to hide. We all know, again, that this is what's happening. They'll all be caught out. They'll be fined or shut down. Whatever it is, it better happen. And YouTube is trying to make sure that they don't get swept away in the tidal wave of shit that they're going to be up to their necks in very, very soon. But let's be honest here. This did not start in 2020. This started under Obama. Just like everything that we blame the Biden administration for, it actually started with Barack Obama. Of course it did. Barack Obama is a liar, a charlatan, and a malevolent motherfucker. And everybody knows it. YouTube started this. Susan is extremely responsible for this. Susan, what was her name? Wojcicki or something like that? The former CEO of YouTube. She got some splaining to do. It's all really, really, really bad. Now, of course, there is a full-length 5-page letter that you can absolutely read at your leisure between Alphabet Inc., which I've discovered today is the parent company of Google as of like 2015. They obviously are responsible for Google, YouTube, and everything else under there. They are the ones who were effectively pressured to stop people questioning COVID-19, stop people questioning the COVID-19 vaccine. You know, the one that most people agree these days didn't work and might even have got people killed. Yeah. Yeah. You know what this is, of course, don't you? This is one big pie.
Alphabeti spaghetti!
Indeed. Now, here's some real hypocrisy, though. YouTube mission is to give everyone a voice and show them the world. Are you sure about that, buddy? Are you sure? Because that's not what you've been doing. Every day, YouTube builds and improves tools and systems that empower creators, viewers, and businesses to find and share information. Doesn't feel much like it, mate. Don't feel very empowered. I feel like you've just taken the boot off my neck for the first time this year and allowed me to take a breath. Not to evoke too much George Floyd. 2 billion logged in users worldwide visit each month. 500 hours of content are uploaded every minute. Wider variety of views on YouTube platform than on any other information source in history. Well, except X. X now rules the roost on that one. And it's worked. That's another thing to remember. X is a colossal success under Elon Musk. Gigantic, towering success. More profitable than it's been a long time. And everybody is getting this is the thing, of course. It's another trickle down from Elon Musk buying X. When Elon Musk bought X or Twitter and turned it into X, we are still now, 3 years later, seeing the repercussions of that. The fact that we can feel that there's honesty in the room surrounding us on X now, and not that you say something counter to the leftists and it just gets buried in memory hold in favor of their arguments about whatever the toss they want to make up shit about all the time. YouTube was feeling a lot like that too. Until now. Says it creates new economic opportunities for artists, creators, podcasters, journalists, and small businesses to share their creativity. Yeah, as long as you don't argue with the narrative. If you do argue with the narrative, you won't grow. Quite simple, really. Until now. So, I mean, they are lying all the way through this, by the way. It's patently obvious. They're trying to say that during the COVID-19 era, which they say is an unprecedented time in which online platforms had to reach decisions about how best to balance freedom of expression with responsibility. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The only reason it became an unprecedented time is because of the unprecedented malevolence of the powers that be. If they'd never locked down the world, a few people would have died and the rest of us would have got on with our lives. It would have gone down as a particularly bad flu season. Nothing worse than that. But, you know, hey, you've done what you've done now. And people have lost their loved ones, not necessarily to the coof, but to the complications of the lockdowns. I lost my mother to a trickle-down effect of her being locked in the house for a year. Yeah. Think I'm going to forgive that? When every time you said COVID-19 on a video on YouTube, suddenly you get a little bing, 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 bing underneath it to tell everybody that you're lying and that you're talking about misinformation. Oh, by the way, the misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation narratives also completely fucking felted by this revelation. Completely. This is big, my friends. It's too big to cover in a video. It's too big to cover in a whole live stream. The stuff that we are uncovering now is rot. It's really showing up now. And you have to thank lots of different things for that. First of all, Elon Musk for buying X. Secondly, the American voter and people like Charlie Kirk, of course, for getting Donald Trump back into the White House and putting Elon Musk in the position where Doge could felt USA ID, where truth suddenly starts to come out. And you know what happens? The cream rises to the top. Now we have congressional investigations into platforms like Twitch. And YouTube is scared that they're going to be next. So now they have to quickly pivot and blame it on the previous administration. Even though we all know YouTube was up to this shit a long time before Biden ever dribbled onto the Oval Office's desk. Last thing then, I will say this. Ryan Roger Athe wants his channel back. At Team YouTube, it has been over 4 months since Ryan Roger Athe was deplatformed for daring to speak his mind. Now Google has made this commitment. When will he return? He wants his channel back. He wants to come back to be on my show. He wants to be on Hypno's show. He wants to be on Smash JT's show. You guys watching this, retweet. Go retweet. If you ever enjoyed Ryan Roger Athe on my channel, get out there and show your support right now. Thank you very much for listening. This is big. This is going to change everything. This is going to change everything. It really is. I can't even collect my own thoughts about it, guys. Like, we are literally looking at a situation right now where YouTube has been, they've ratted themselves out. Yeah, don't let Ryan Roger Athe shave. No, he kind of looked like a mole rat when he did that. This is big. I can't express how big this is. Like, YouTube is literally telling us everything we ever believed was happening. As the quote keeps coming up lately, thanks to the insane leftists and all the shit that they keep saying, but if someone tells you who they are, believe them. Believe them. Because they aren't lying. Anyway, let's see. I think I saw something come in while I was in the middle of that. So, hey, it's Gutty or Gooty Grifter for another 10. Says, free Ryan Roger out there. We want him back on SNH. Unlike some people, he actually plays video games. Yeah, he plays less than most people, but you know what? He's more entertaining than a lot of people do. Certainly. And, you know, he never missed a week. He never missed a week on SNH. I can't remember exactly how many weeks he was in there for. Every single week, I bet if you asked him, he'd remember, but he was in that show every single week for, I mean, 2 years and change. Impressive. Very impressive. And yeah, you're absolutely right, buddy. And you know what? Since you've sent a few of these 10s now, I'll give you the 20 video.
I got this new anime plot. Basically, there's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, some serious hunkers. A real setup of donkers. Packing some Doban hunkeros. Massive da hunka bankaloos. Big old Tanahangera cougars. What happens next? Transfer student shows up one day with even bigger Bankhanaga hoogs. Humongous hungalamga nonologangas.
DramaticaLaur is here taking paracetamol to level up her autism right now. That is rough. That is some fucking dark ass humor, but hey, she is autistic, and there's an awful lot that we are finding out about autism thanks to the Trump administration and RFK. I know a lot of people are saying it's completely insane, it doesn't make sense, it's over the top, it's bonkers. But you know, Tylenol tweeted out that they don't recommend taking Tylenol when you're pregnant. As my wife has just completed her second pregnancy in 2 years, or 2.5, I can tell you straight up that they do say check with a doctor before taking paracetamol, before taking acetaminophen. Now, the problem is, and this is what I said to the Tylenol Twitter account in response. Yeah, good, you're responsible by saying you don't recommend taking it when you're pregnant. The problem is, pretty much all the doctors in the world have arrived at a consensus that paracetamol is the best thing you can possibly take for pain while pregnant. And I don't know if you've seen the videos. I'm not going to watch any of them because honestly, I can't. I'm tapped out from watching leftists behave completely reprehensibly lately. I know this though. You need you need people to come out and say the truth, and doctors will not do it. They will always tell you, hey, go take paracetamol, go take acetaminophen, even if you're pregnant. Don't take a lot of it, but take it. And I completely believe that they could find a link between that and autism, because people abuse this shit. They take too much of it. I'm glad my wife refused to listen to me for the last 2 years when I was telling her, hey, you got a headache? Take some paracetamol. She'd be like, no, I don't want to take anything. I don't want to take anything. Just get me some water and give me a hot compress or a salon pass, things like deep heat in a strip you put on your head. You know, give her a head massage, that kind of thing. Sometimes menthol gel that you can put on your head. Not the one that they use all the time in the Philippines. What's it called? Efficacent oil. No, you have to use a different one when you're pregnant because it can actually cause problems. Almost everything is terrible when you're pregnant. Almost everything. Red Scouse is here, says, why is this gobshite come up on my feed? I don't know, mate. Must be karma. Maybe try not being such an asshole and maybe I won't pop up on your feed. Anyway, there you go. Meanwhile, it's very strange that they've suddenly come out with this now, and then people are just going completely batshit insane about it. It's just, the problem is it's come at the tail end of the Charlie Kirk thing, and now we have the revelation about YouTube, and of course the Jimmy Kimmel thing. So paracetamol gate is sort of fourth down the ladder at the moment, and it needs more attention. It really does. Either way, we'll see what develops from it. It's too early to tell, but one thing's for sure, you can still take paracetamol if you're an adult. and you're not pregnant. And that's fine, because I've been taking it all my life, and I'm no more autistic now than I was when I was born. I think. Anyway, there we go. All right. Let's see then what we can do. We've got another thing to talk about. Just let me put away the tabs from before and get the next bunch open, because there's a lot to talk about. And we are going to have to talk a lot about Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is, just to clarify before we get started with this whole topic, Jimmy Kimmel is a piece of shit. Jimmy Kimmel is a reprehensible, lying, two-faced, double-dealing, conniving motherfucker. He's a bottom feeder who managed to fail upwards by virtue of being a reformed sexist who became woke as fuck. I don't know. I really am wondering sometimes whether I hate Jimmy Kimmel more or John Oliver more. I think I hate John Oliver more because he's British and he makes us all look like squirrel-faced, orgasmic wankers who are about to come at the next punchline they deliver themselves from a teleprompter. Whereas Jimmy Kimmel is an emotionally manipulative, double-dealing, two-faced, lying sack of shit who, I just hate them both. I really do hate them both. Put them and Colbert into a sack and throw them into the sea. Fuck them. We don't need them around here, mate. They don't belong with us. They belong in the sea with the aquatic life, the simpler fucking algae and shit like that. Where are we at on the bar now? We've got $30 on the bar. That's nice. That's really nice. Wow. Fucking great, guys. Thank you so much. We get that up to 50 and it's money time. After which, of course, it will be booby time if we manage to get this bar to be filled. So tell your friends we're over here having some fun and let's fucking go. In the meantime, have we got any more super chats at the moment? No, that's fine. We're going to have to talk a bit more about all of this stuff that's going on. But in the meantime, just remember, we are being attacked. And anyone who's ever told you that what you believe is actually just theory is a fucking liar. We can see it with the YouTube revelation. We can see it with everything else. Now fight!
By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand! Men of the West!
All right. Let's get into the Jimmy Kimmel situation. But first, I need some nicotine. Yes, that's right. I'm a reformed smoker. Now I use these stupid things, but they're really effective. All right. Let's get into this. I watched the Jimmy Kimmel return monologue, so you don't have to. And let me tell you, I was really quite surprised after all of the lies and the deceit that Jimmy Kimmel has been found red-handed on over the last, few years, frankly, culminating in the massive backlash from his affiliates and advertisers to his statements about the Charlie Kirk shooter, Tyler Robinson, because that's what it's about, by the way. But I was really surprised, because I actually thought that Jimmy Kimmel was going to, come out on stage and deliver a heartfelt apology, because otherwise he was going to lose his job. But of course, what happened instead is what would be called an apology, but instead was actually just a doubling down on various lies, the construction of a straw man for him to attack instead of actually facing the responsibility that he has to take for the shit that he said, and all of the other trash as well. Like, literally, this guy walks out, makes absolutely no apology, despite crying on stage 2 or 3 times and pretending, I never wanted to make light of someone getting assassinated. Well, why did you then? Why? Oh, well, it's really bad that the Trump administration wasn't involved. Stop lying, Jimmy. You're lying about lying. Let's get into it. All right, here we are. Jimmy Kimmel, the serial liar, the unstoppable peddler and pusher of absolute freaking garbage, the man who is more full of bollocks than Triple H's trunks. Let's have a look. Oh, great. Here we go. Just what I needed. Another window that doesn't fucking connect to what I want. It's really not my day today, is it? Jesus fucking Christ. What is going on? What is going on? Where are we now? Oh, no, not that. Where are you? It's disappeared. Yay. Perfect. Hold on a moment, folks, and I will sort this issue out. Fucking hell. I don't know what's wrong with me today. This stream is cursed, I swear. Can't get anything right. Literally can't do anything. It just will not fucking accept anything I do. There we go. Right, that's better. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Okay, here we go. What G's will tell us you like Triple H without telling us you like Triple H. Well, yeah, I mean, I used to think that those jokes about grapefruits were pretty good. That was the reference, the DX thing. Never mind. Never mind. Let's just get into this. You crazy people. All right, here we have it from Breitbart, because honestly, you're going to find 100 articles like this out there going, oh, Jimmy Kimmel met the moment. Jimmy Kimmel rose to the occasion. Yeah, okay, if the occasion was lying and lying and lying and lying, straw manning, lying and lying, fake crying and lying. Jimmy Kimmel. So, yeah, I went to Breitbart. Sue me. Says, I appreciate those on the right who backed my rights. Your rights were never, ever in jeopardy, Mr. Kimmel. Your rights were never in jeopardy. Literally, your job was the only thing in jeopardy because you said something that was not only offensive on multiple levels, but factually inaccurate. And there is no way in hell that Jimmy Kimmel didn't know full well that he was going out there to misrepresent the facts. He has a writing team apparently of 21 people. And yet he never actually tells a joke. 21 people. And he has to co-sign everything. The hosts of these shows get final say on what they're going to say because it's their face and their voice that has to say it. So don't tell me you accidentally said a bunch of absolute bollocks. We all know that's another lie, Mr. Kimmel. Anyway, his rights were never in jeopardy because it wasn't about that. He didn't get cancelled. He got fired temporarily. No, suspended. And now he's back already. Didn't intend to blame a group for a Kirk assassination. Well, you did. That's what you did. And given that every word that comes out of your mouth is prepared and put on a teleprompter for you to say, you co-signed all of it, you fucking liar. Guys, I want to make it very clear at this point before I get into this any further. This guy should still be off the air. What he did was not an apology. It was a double down. It was a triple, quadruple, decatuple down. Let's get into it. On Tuesday, Jimmy Kimmel Live host Jimmy Kimmel thanked people on the right who stood up for his right to say what he wants without government pressure, and it wasn't his intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what. It was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt ill-timed or unclear or maybe both, and for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I would have felt the same way. Yeah, the situation has been reversed many, many times. Not that situation. The situation of people getting cancelled has been reversed. And Jimmy Kimmel has cheered multiple times for people like Roseanne and Tucker Carlson when they got let go. Kimmel thanked those who reached out to him, blah, 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 blah. He also said Ben Shapiro, Clay Travis, Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, and Ted Cruz backed him. Not good. Not great, guys. Not good look. Especially Shapiro. He's really starting to get on a lot of people's nerves these days. He added, "It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man." He said this with tears and his voice cracking up, you know, like he did that night when Trump got elected. He said, "It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man." And it's like, but you did. You co-signed the joke. Well, it wasn't a joke. It was a statement. No, it was a joke. It was a roast. It was an attempt to roast MAGA, saying that MAGA refused to take responsibility for the guy who killed killed Kirk. I'm really angry today. The reality is, you said that a guy who shot probably the biggest Trump supporter ever was a MAGA guy. So obviously not true. Even before we knew what we know now. But the thing is, we already knew that the guy was a raging leftist because we saw the bullets, the engravings on the bullets. And we'd already had it leaked that he was a trans dater. So you knew everything we knew, unless you get all your news from Blue Sky, in which case you really definitely don't want to be on TV, mate. Anyway, he says, "I don't think there's anything funny about it," but that's not, again, this is a straw man. No one accused him of making jokes about the murder of a young man. He's accused of lying about the shooter. This is, you're straw manning. You are creating an argument that you can defeat because you can't defeat the actual argument because you have nothing to say, because you're guilty as charged. Posted a message on Instagram. He did. He wrote a message about how it's not good to kill people and we should all agree that. And I actually gave him credit for that. I think I called it the rare Jimmy Kimmel dub. But, you know, then he made that line about and what he was peddling was complete disinformation. Misinformation. No, disinformation. It was deliberate. He says it was not his intention to blame any specific group. He says he's just a deeply disturbed individual. Yeah, but the thing is, right, it is a group, and that group is called the mainstream media. Everyone from CNN to Jimmy Kimmel is responsible for creating this guy. Whether he was a card-carrying member of Antifa or not, it's actually worse if he wasn't, because it means that he was radicalized solely through means that are available to normal people. That's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, he says, "I have many friends and family on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. And yet you make it your business to go out there every single day and insult the sitting president of the United States. That's all you do. You don't actually say any jokes. You don't make any good points. You just insult the president every single day. This is why your ratings are in the toilet. And that's why ABC chose to get rid of you, because you're a fucking liability and a money sink. By the way, let's not forget, both Nexstar and Sinclair and all of their networks, some 65, still refuse to air this. So whatever ratings bump you claimed you were going to get in your monologue, Jimmy, not really as much as you thought. I actually was watching this via Smash JT's stream earlier on. And I sat and wrote every single time Jimmy Kimmel said something that I knew wasn't true. And I tweeted it out. I literally tweeted this out earlier on. Lies Jimmy Kimmel told on his show while apologizing for lying on his show. That America is more authoritarian than Nazi Germany. That the Trump administration had him cancelled. That didn't happen, by the way. It was the affiliates and advertisers. Trump was not involved. Why do you think they asked Trump for his comment? And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah, well, I mean, he's useless, he sucks, and he's untalented." Which then Kimmel went on to say is him trying to cancel him. No, that's him criticizing you. There is a big difference. You should know this. You spend all your time criticizing Trump. That he didn't intend to misrepresent the killer? Lies. That the Kirk's killer represents no one? Lies. That it has anything to do with free speech? It's about lying to the public, which he is still doing. Go fuck yourself, Kimmel. That the Trump administration coerced the ABC affiliates, repeated this multiple times, lies. That the FCC extorted the network instead of just adhering to the rules of broadcast. That straight up lying about the shooter was actually satire. That's not satire, buddy. That Trump insulting his ratings and talent is Trump censoring free speech. That's not what that is. You can ask YouTube. That Disney is under threat from Trump. They're not. That Trump could get them all fired. He can't. That Trump is bullying journalists to control information. No, They are making people who go to the White House pledge that they will report accurately and not report anything that is not presented to them through the proper channels. That's just calling for journalistic integrity. That there is a Trump admin threat to censor comedy. Not true. Not at all true. Even the ones that are just opinions are more or less provably untrue. Kimmel is the male mercante, dealing in lies, straw men, fake gotchas, half-truths, and obfuscations. He deliberately missed the point, and the retards in his audience cheered for his crocodile tears. He even invoked Jesus. He did. He said that he believes in Jesus. It was quite awkward watching a bunch of crazy leftists try to react positively to one of them saying they believe in Jesus. Pure desperation. He also called out Brendan Carr by name and basically told the audience that Brendan Carr was behaving like a mafioso. So I said, cancel this vector of bullshit and sue him. Brendan Carr, sue him. Fuck it. Who cares? Thank you, Jay Viper, for the positive response to the post, by the way. And actually, it's done really well for a Will of the Fans post. Like, I don't get these kinds of numbers. They're not particularly big, but I don't get these kinds of numbers regularly. So there you have it. Jimmy Carr remains a gigantic, colossal, brazen, and unapologetic fucking liar. He does not care about anything he said. He didn't even actually address what he did. He apologized for making light of a murder, which is not why anyone was angry. And then he turned the rest of it into a straw man against Trump. Waste of our time, Jimmy. But why would I be surprised? That's all he can do. All right. Excuse me. Throat's getting a little hoarse. You try talking for 2 straight hours and see what happens to your throat. Here we are. I think we got some supers in there. Goody Grifter is here to New Zealand. Thank you. Says money. I rest now. Smackheads for the Australian 5 says a lying liar lies about lying, comes back to lie about lying, thus lying again. Well said. Very well said indeed. Yeah, he did. That's all he did. He lied about lying. He's a liar who lies. You're exactly right.
He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smee. He's a smig. Hey.
Egghead, baby. That's right. Yeah, I see you guys. I see you guys going. Oops, take 2, Will. What happened there? Oh, that was the thing earlier on. That last bit, you said Jimmy Carr instead of Jimmy Kimmel. Did I? Oh, well, whatever. Jimmy Carr's a bit of a wanker too. Anyway, there we go. Jimmy Carr. Oh, well, I'll have to watch it back and make sure I edit. It's been a long day, and I was really, I'm going to be honest with you, having a stream that will not start on time and having 3 or 4 iterations of it that goes terribly, terribly wrong. And then having to like frantically try and get the stream up. It rattled me a bit today. I'm not my usual self. I'm not as collected as I normally am. I'm a little flustered. I'm trying to sort of catch up with everything as fast as I can. Jimmy Carr. Oh, well, there we go. Oh, that's weird. I haven't even thought about Jimmy Carr in years. But there you go. It is what it is, I suppose. All right. Yeah, it's all going tits up. I'll watch it back. I'll have to edit that anyway. I'll turn that into a video later. But there you go. How are we doing? We've got 17 out of 50 memberships. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And $35. Only 15 to go to the halfway point. All right. We'll see what happens then. In the meantime, let's take the tone down a little bit. Let's have a laugh. Let's revisit something crazy that happened. Jimmy Carr is a British comedian, James O. A very sardonic one who also got cancelled. But he is a bit of a prick. He also got done for tax evasion once. Massive tax evasion. Much funnier than Jimmy Kimmel, though. Much funnier. strongly suggest going and finding some Jimmy Carr clips. You'll laugh your ass off. Anyway, let's bring down the intensity a little and just laugh at some craziness. Eris Roda's going to know exactly what I'm talking about because I'm going back to colonialism in cozy games. It's time to laugh at the Four Seasons again. Although it won't be as funny as it was in WTF Live because I've already seen it now. But we can at least have a good rant about it. In the last year or so, Sweet Baby Inc. has done more or less everything they can to appear as though everything is business as normal, while also 100% going into hiding, running as far away as they possibly can from the culture war at large, because it's not going very well for them. Let's be honest. It's not going very well at all. I think everybody knows this at this point. But they have, of course, remained steadfast and dedicated to their cause, which is, of course, their cause of burning the game industry to the ground with a bunch of woke nonsense and otherwise completely useless statements of absolute gibbering BS. And, you know, it would be kind of hard to keep up with Sweet Baby Inc. if it weren't for the fact that I happen to know a couple of sleuths who do this for us. So let's see what they're saying. And get ready to scratch your heads, because this gets crazy really fast. So, here we are at that Park Place. For this one, Sweet Baby Inc. team member claims cozy games, by the way, cringe term. Can't stand that term. Basically, it means, you know, low stress, very low combat farming games. Like, for example, Tales of the Shire here, which is just terrible. Look at it. It looks like a Wii game. But apparently, these kinds of games, like farming sims, promote colonialism. Colonialism. This is one of those great big leftist buzz terms that can be almost stretched to mean anything. Colonialism just literally means whiteness, basically. They fail constantly to realize that almost every country in the world has been touched by one or more white countries. If you go back far enough in history, then, you know, it basically all came from Denmark and Norway. But you know, even further back than that, you could go to the great expansion of humanity across the planet, you know, 20,000 years ago. Well, I mean, by that stretch, then we're all colonizers. But that's not, of course, what they mean. Because what this really is a term that they use to justify anti-white racism. So let's take a look. All right. At the 2025 Game Devs of Color Expo, Jesus Christ, Sweet Baby Inc. team member Tristan J. Tarwater gave a talk called Decolonizing Cozy Games. Decolonizing cozy games. This is your life's work. This is your life's work. I strongly recommend that you give up. You've contributed nothing of any value. You are actively just confusing people. And everything that you believe in clearly is a lie. Honestly, at this point, I would just give up on everything if I were you. Go get a job in 7-Eleven or Best Buy or something. Something you can handle. Decolonizing cozy games. So anyway, here we go. What unfolded was a startling presentation where even farming families in the Four Seasons themselves were framed as symptoms of colonialism. I'm going to have to get to that bit as fast as I can, because otherwise we're going to be here all day. Here's one of his slides presented in this cutesy pixel art format that these kinds of people always use, because they otherwise know that they wouldn't be taken seriously as game industry professionals, because they're not serious game industry professionals. They are, in fact, just leftist activist scum. And they need to pretend to be game industry professionals in order to be heard or even given the platform to be listened to in the games industry. They don't care about gaming. They just want to ruin things for everybody else. They really are worthless human beings. We have it here. Let's go. We've got this, of course, but we've also got the initial tweets of Master of the TDS here. Now you'll see that we have quite the array of insanity before us. Decolonization and decoloniality. God, these words, these nonsense buzz terms, often framed as an undoing of cultural influences and structures. It's a creative process of imagining what cultures would look like if not disrupted by the exploitation of colonialism. My friend, sorry, no, we're not friends, and we never will be. Colonialism, as you call it, is a part of human nature. To the victor go the spoils. Survival of the fittest. The smartest, strongest, best organized. These cultures, these civilizations will dominate the others. It is the way of the world. It's the same in the animal kingdom. It is exactly the same no matter where you go. At the dawn of man, what happened? We spread out across the world. We created tribes that would hunt together. We would encounter other tribes, and we would fight and kill them. Or they would fight and kill us. Whoever was strongest would win. Until eventually someone else came along and threatened both of them, in which case they would unify against the common enemy. And before you had it, you had a village. Villages would band together against each other as well until eventually they came together and made towns, cities, counties, countries. This is human. This is the most human thing in the world. It's the most natural thing in the world that is powered by nature. You see? You can't argue with it. It's not colonization. It's natural selection. It's the way of the world. Of course, this guy, this lunatic here with his green hair and his face that looks fairly Neanderthal, actually, is here to point out what is colonialism. Can't spell. Well, he starts off with saying white people. That's quite racist of you there, buddy. The outside individual who saves the day, very often the case. The land is there for the taking. Well, it is. That's the thing, isn't it? The land is there for the taking. So take it. And if someone's there defending it and they can't defend it from you, then it's yours. That's the way it used to be. Before we had civilization to back up the weak people. Thus, by the way, that's another tenet of colonialization. Building civilization to protect the weak and frail, without which you, buddy, would be long dead. Corn and wheat make number go up. Yes, farming. The great agricultural revolution that allowed humanity to take over the earth, without which we never would have. We'd have been lunch for some other creature or killed by the elements. We'll get there. We'll get there. Nuclear family, 2-gen family. Of course, you've got to attack the nuclear family. That is another of the tenets of the major leftist movement, is to destabilize the world by having families be less important. Family is a unit of civilization. Okay? It is the thing we should all do with our lives. If you're trying to destabilize or otherwise felt the human impulse to create families, you are not part of this species anymore, and you should get in the sea. Monochronic structures, 4 seasons. 4. Here we go again. 4 seasons is racist, apparently. 4 seasons is colonialism. Colonialism. Guys, I never realized that the fact that we are all at the mercy of the weather, that wherever you have decided to live is going to have a set of seasons that are going to happen at a set of times around the world, and yours will differ from someone else's based on where you are geographically located. that actually apparently is colonialism. Something no human has any power over is colonialism. That's right. Bundle up warm or you will die of frostbite. Oh, don't bring that colonialist white supremacist back. God, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're so stupid. You are too stupid, in fact, to be here with us. Get in the sea. 4 seasons. It doesn't even happen everywhere. Where I live, there are only 2 seasons. Hot and wet and hot and dry. Yeah. This guy is insane. There, you know, if there were no humans on Earth, there'd still be 4 seasons in some countries, you fucking imbecile. This is baffling. Baffling stupidity. Ugh. How do you do this? How do you convince yourselves of this? How do you twist things to be the total opposite of what they are? Gravity goes up. Rain goes up. The sky's red. The grass is purple. 4 seasons is racist. Nobody forced these people to be where they are. Even when the Spanish conquered the Philippines, they eventually left again after they bred with all the women and took all the gold. This is nonsense. This is the stupidest thing ever. Ever. I'm serious. This is for years now. This is going to be the thing I reference when I'm talking about the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in the world. 4 seasons is colonialism. You think we brought them with us? Do you think they started off in Africa and then people went, "Hey, we're going to move up to the UK and Europe, and we're gonna take cold weather with us"? How do you do this? How can you be so stupid? The Gregorian calendar, by the way, also racist, also colonialist. So most people have agreed it's the best one we have. I think it's only China that doesn't use it at this point, or even they use it. Oh, mate. Conveniently ancient civilizations. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to make a game about farming and foraging the land, you're going to have to go back far enough to where most people would participate in that kind of thing, i.e. before mechanization. So it's going to be at very latest the 19th century. Or the contemporary modern day Philippines. Spirituality is silly and straight up racism. So white people and racism and 4 seasons. So how do we get rid of colonialism in cozy games? By asking stupid questions, apparently. Look at these. What does safety mean for the audience we're trying to reach? Well, for you, it means no one's allowed to say anything mean. It's got nothing to do with safety, of course, but that's you guys and your fucking limited brain power. What mechanics, rewards, cultural touchstones, and character archetypes will implement that will resonate with them? Well, none. If you could resonate with the audience at all, you wouldn't be in this predicament, would you, Sweet Baby Ink? What is the relationship of the player character to the NPC community? I don't know. Why don't you tell me, as a representative of the NPC community, what you guys think? Because I ain't got a fucking clue. I ain't got a clue. What did the download tell you today? 4 seasons is racism. Great. You're useless. Useless. Then it just lists a bunch of games. I'm not joking. This is baffling stupidity. This isn't even like Sweet Baby Ink making people angry anymore. This is pathetic. This is you're too dumb to live. 4 seasons. Racist. Colonialism. There's nothing I can say. That's just all I can say is that's all I can say. Because that's all there is to it. That was so dumb. I hope I did it justice. WTF Live, we all fell about for like 20 minutes talking about this insanity. Insanity. They have turned into the Peter of gaming, says Demon Carol. Hello, Demon Carol. Member for 1 month already. Well, that's great. Appreciate it. Smackheads clip that, what me going, there's plenty of that, man. I've done a lot of that in the last few months. Shout out to Demon Carol, who's been a member of the Grift Force for a whole month now. Demon Carol again for the 5 Australian says, I'd actually say SBI has done some important work in the games industry. They showed us how deep the rot has taken hold on all the major studios. A fucking man. You ain't wrong. Iris Rhoda for £2 says, everywhere you go with music. Which song are you quoting there? Because that's a line in a lot of songs. But yeah. Good one. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, my God, man. My God. What an unbelievably, bafflingly stupid brain. That is astonishing stupidity, right? Like, really, really dumb. Incredibly dumb. But there you go. I guess it is what it is at this point. We just have to move on and crack on and talk a little bit about something else. Let's move on to Star Wars. Yeah, that's... Oh, you take the weather with you. Always take the weather with you. Right. Sorry. I'm out of sorts today. It's been a long fucking day. I got up at the crack of dawn, and it is now nearly 11 o'clock at night. So I've had a long day. A long and stressful day. Double baby vaccine day. That's right. If you imagine that was easy, well, I got a bridge to sell you on the moon. Speaking of space, it's been a hot minute since I've talked about Star Wars, mostly because Star Wars is completely and totally culturally irrelevant these days, thanks to Disney and the sequel trilogy being as bad as they were in the first place. The latest offerings that we have seen from the House of Mouse trying to make amends for all of the terrible cock-ups that they have performed with the Star Wars brand is who's who of absolute mediocrity and cringe that no one really cares about. There's the Rey movie, which may or may not even exist at this point anymore. It's been a while since we heard about Charmin Obayi Chinui and her movie. And, well, then there's The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's, well, more or less a meh burger. We'll get to that. But then, of course, there's the sequel trilogy. Always the benchmark for how not to perform when you are charged with the responsibility of taking over an unbelievably beloved franchise. The sequel trilogy remains the absolute benchmark, up there with Doctor Who from series 11 through to 15, of absolutely taking a beautiful and beloved product, crapping all over it, shattering it to pieces, and then trying to put it back together. Not a great plan. And that is probably why John Boyega has also decided that it's finally time to just tell the fans what we've all been saying since at least 2017. The sequel trilogy was fucking terrible. Okay, here we are. And we can see, first of all, from Kotaku. Yes, I know. But it's worth pointing out, even Kotaku is reporting negative stuff about Star Wars now. Are you tired of winning yet? Fans are freaking out about how bad The Mandalorian and Grogu looks. The era of big budget streaming slop is here and bumming people out by Ethan Gatch. I mean, look, even a broken clock is right twice a day, apparently. Look at this. Look at these screenshots and tell me that you're looking at a movie and not just another episode of The Mandalorian. You can't. Look, he's got Baby Yoda here hanging out with Babu Frick and his fucking... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You've got the same quality of camera, the same depth of field, the same quality of costume. Everything looks identical. It just looks exactly like the series. You know why? Because it is the series. It's series 4 condensed into a movie. But the thing is, it's taken them so long. Everyone's had time to realize that The Mandalorian is a piece of crap and that Pedro Pascal, Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on Pedro Silent R. Pascal. All right? I'm so tired of this guy. The only consolation here is that you don't have to look at his face. So there's that. I mean, he doesn't even have to actually be in the suit. He could just provide voiceover and still get paid. But here we go. Anyway, the first trailer for the next Star Wars movie has arrived and it looks incredibly forgettable. This is true. And this is where you know that everything's really, really bad for Disney Star Wars at this point. If you actually go to the trailer and you look at the comments, 90% of the people who've seen this are going, I wish I felt something. They're not going, this is woke shit. They're not going, oh my God, save Disney, saving Star Wars again. Yay. They're not doing any of that stuff at all. Everyone is just going, fuck is this? This is what you got for us? A friendly reminder, by the way, that The Mandalorian and Grogu was first announced in January of 2024. Woof. And not since then, what we got? A year and nearly 2 years. Better part of 2 years, a year and 3/4 later. This is it. It's just more of the same. Who gives a shit? Literally nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody. I probably should have made that the 20th Century Fox version of that, but whatever. Anyway, there you go. So, yeah, no one cares. No one cares. Daniel Rickman even weighed in on this. He said, I don't want to sound negative, but this trailer makes the movie feel like a filler episode of the TV show. A filler episode. Even visually, it doesn't look like an upgrade. There is one way that they could possibly turn this around, and that is to put Gina Carano in it. That's it. It's the only way anyone's going to see this thing. No one cares. It's going to be worse than the sequel trilogy. Because you see, the last Star Wars theatrical release was The Rise of Skywalker, which was a clown show trying desperately to make up for the grenade that had been detonated in the heart of the franchise by Rian Johnson. It's just not going to work. Was never going to work. Now what's going to happen? Years later, all these TV shows, they were supposed to be building up the lore and building up to finally make a triumphant comeback to the big screen. Star Wars is back, baby. It's finally back. And what do we get? TV slop that no one cares about. Star Wars is fucking dead. But, you know, it is still occasionally fun to laugh at it. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now with this Variety article. John Boyega would have kept Han Solo and Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars sequel trilogy if he was a producer. I want to give those characters way more. I mean... You know, John Boyega is one of those weird celebrities. Like, one week he says something I love, the next week he says something completely rotted, and I don't know what to do with him. But, hey, when you're right, you're right. John Boyega isn't holding back when it comes to his thoughts on how the Star Wars sequel trilogy could have been handled differently. By the way, folks, just a quick one here. Just a quick one. Have you noticed this is a Variety article? A Variety article about how the Star Wars sequel trilogy sucks ass. We are through the looking glass now, my friends. Oh boy, are we. Speaking at Florida SuperCon 2025 in Miami Beach, Boyega, who played former Stormtrooper Finn, the most interesting character in the sequel trilogy and one that they turned into a clown. Across The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, Rey offered a candid take on what he would have done if he had been a producer on the films from the beginning. When asked by an audience member during a spotlight panel what changes he would make to remake the sequels, Boyega delivered a blunt assessment of the franchise's creative choices. If I was a producer on Star Wars from the beginning, you would have had a whole completely different thing. Oh, go for the body. Work the body, Boyega. Go on. according to Popverse, it would be mad. First of all, we're not getting rid of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, all these people. We're not doing that. Oh, blow to the head. Got him. He's on the ropes. The first thing we're going to do is fulfill their story, fulfill their legacy. Oh, God, he's hurt. Back out, King. It's too much. He's broken in half. We're going to make a good moment of handing on the baton. That's all anyone wanted. That is all anyone ever wanted from a sequel trilogy. Han, Luke, and Leia together. That's it. Han, Luke, and Leia together. Completely insane. Completely insane that they didn't do that. Can you imagine how much fucking money they would have basically had a license to print currency if they had Han, Luke, and Leia all together in the scenes. And yes, it is kind of weird that he's only coming out and saying this now, but better late than never, I guess. I'm always willing to support someone who takes it upon themselves to tell the bloody truth. Boyega also took aim at the power scaling of new characters in the sequels. Yes, come on, let's go. Let's get Rey. Our new characters will not be overpowered in these movies. Boom! Chair shot. He said, they won't just grab stuff and know what to do with it. No, you've got to struggle like every other character in the franchise. She's through the table, King. Oh, God, look, this man understands storytelling. This guy understands the hero's journey. Oh, mate, I'm really happy. You know what, Boyega? All is forgiven. All is forgiven. Just don't fuck this up, all right? Stop saying stupid BLM crap, all right? Beyond character development, Boyega outlined a different creative approach that would have drawn on the expanded universe of Star Wars. He's fucking going for it, buddy. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's incredible. It's the expanded universe. He's got Mara Jade running down the ramp with the assist now, holding a light tube and a bag of thumbtacks. I'd look at the Old Republic stories and see what we can add to the continuation of that. I would definitely want to see Force Unleashed stories in there. Oh, please. Why did we never ever get a Starkiller movie? I would try to expand the Star Wars universe as much as possible while respecting the lore. If we're expanding the lore, we have to do it within the respective boundaries that stay true. My God almighty. It doesn't matter if he's a Hollywood sellout. It doesn't matter if he's a BLM activist to me right now. I mean, he's kind of on the fence about that most of the time, but he's right. He's right. He's 100% right. And there's always going to be a part of me as in my capacity as will of the fans, if you like. Not that I see myself as that officially at all. That's got to just take massive, massive throbbing pleasure from anyone close to Star Wars saying this kind of stuff. This might as well have been written by Mauler. The actor was particularly critical of Luke Skywalker's arc in The Last Jedi, where the character appeared as a force projection during the film's climax. But Luke Skywalker wouldn't be disappearing on a rock. Hell no. Standing there and it's like a projector. I would want to give those characters way more. Way more. You know, you can say what you like about John Boyega, and I've said a lot. But when you're right, you are right. And from Variety, mate, we are there. We're in the singularity now. And it's good. I'm loving it. John Boyega there, just bodying the Star Wars sequel trilogy. You knew he wasn't happy with it. I mean, they took a character that he could have probably forged a career out of and turned him into a joke. They took everything good and sacred about Star Wars and wrecked it. Remember, Star Wars is not about the lightsabers and the lasers and the cool stuff. that's what makes it cool. You come for the lasers and the space battles and stuff like that and the zoom, zoom, you know, and all that. You stay for the story, the characters, the lore, the legacy, the themes, the motifs, the humanity. Strip that away and all you have is a bunch of pew pew shooty bang bang bollocks. And that's all Disney has, which is why we fucking hate it. All right, ladies and germs, that's where we're at now. Thank you very much for that. Did we get any super chats during that one? Did I miss anything? No? Outrageous. Well, there you go. I'm thrilled to bits for that. What did you guys say? Oh, it seems like we're having a bit of an argument here. Are we having a bit of an argument? Oh, I see now. There's a lot of people here who are they're critical of Boyega. Didn't Variety used to show for W? Yes, W. Yeah, exactly. Variety, like the Hollywood Reporter, like every other Hollywood adjacent shill publication, from Variety all the way down to like Empire and Total Film, they all suck the cock of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So for them to be publishing this on the internet right now, that's what I meant by through the looking glass. It's, we've arrived at the moment where our stance, once again, proven to be incontrovertible. And all you had to do was wait, by the way. That's all you had to do. Just wait. These movies came out. They came out and they were shit. Okay, I'm hands in the air. I liked The Force Awakens when I first saw it because I thought, hey, that was fun. It was a bit derivative of A New Hope, but hey, the characters have potential. Then, I watched it again and again, and I started to really dislike Rey. But I thought, well, maybe there'll be an explanation in The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, I came out of still talking to two of my friends. This was in England. I was already here, but I'd gone back to England from the Philippines for Christmas. We went to see Last Jedi. Fuck. Came out of that, and the three of us were going, well, that was good, yeah, that was good. That was great. Yeah. I didn't really like what they did with Luke Skywalker, though. Yeah. That wasn't very good, was it? No. Luke wouldn't do that. Yeah. But it was good. Didn't really make sense, that whole hyperspace kamikaze thing, though. I mean, if they could do that, wouldn't they have just been doing that since the dawn of the universe? Since the minute they had the technology? Wouldn't you just create giant missiles that could do hyperspeed? HyperDrive missiles to just crush your enemies? It would be effectively the nuclear button for the Star Wars universe. Mutually assured destruction. Which would effectively make what Holdo did a war crime, by the way. But yeah, we were saying all this stuff, and we went straight out of the cinema, and instead of getting the taxi home, we ended up in the pub. Over about 3 or 4 pints each, we stripped the whole movie apart. And even though at that point we were still trying to say, yeah, overall it was good though, definitely didn't like when Yoda showed up and actually used the Force to like blow something up, because sort of makes you wonder why they didn't help Luke in the OT. Yeah. But still, it was good, Although Rey, that whole she's nothing thing, and that throne room scene, and killing Snoke, really not very good. And the whole casino planet thing, that was pretty crappy. But the film was good. Didn't really like the premise that they were running out of fuel, being chased through space at like 5 miles an hour. It didn't really make sense. Plus, it's supposed to be like the day after The Force Awakens. Seems like the First Order would be completely screwed by the fact that their central base has just been blown to Kingdom Come. But, it was good. Nothing makes sense. The characters have all been fucked. And they even ruined Finn's big moment at the end. And who the hell was that Rose Tico bitch? But it was good. And, within about a week or two, I had resigned myself to the fact that I hated that movie. Hated it. Could not stand it. Which was one of the things that I then sort of put that on the back burner for a few months until I saw the first episode of Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker. And the 1-2 punch of those two things, that was my red pill. From there, I went looking on YouTube for anybody who felt the same way as I did, and eventually started my own channel. So that's why I take a perverse pleasure in watching anyone say that The Last Jedi can kiss my balls. So there we go. A little bit of an anecdote from me there. Where are we at? 1 hour and 40 minutes. Can we get this bar to the halfway point? Or fill up the blue bar with memberships? because I've got a bit of time tonight. I don't have to run away immediately after I'm done with the show. We could do a Jackbox stream if we can get the memberships. Just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move back on. I really used to like South Park, you know? Like, I really, really loved South Park. I caught the first episode the day it aired, the moment it aired in the UK on Channel 4 for the first time. Cartman gets an anal probe. I remember it clear as day. Kind of changed my life, actually. Pushed the limits of what I would consider acceptable television. I thought it was novel and cool and edgy and different. And I was 13, so I was primed for it. And I watched every episode from there religiously the second it became available in the UK. Until about series 20, when I started to go, it's kind of lost its way a bit. But, you know, it's still funny. But it's not what it was. And then I moved to Asia and I didn't have access to the kinds of things I would need to be able to watch it. Not at first, anyway. And during that time, it seemed to go down a bit of a weird path. The whole Tegrity Farms thing, I missed that. I came back for the special they did with Kathleen Kennedy. That was hilarious. I mean, that's just instant home run, right? But they've never really teed off on you know, the Biden administration, the massive crimes against the population that went on with that. You know, they did a COVID special, but it wasn't really, you know, and they seem to have lost their teeth until, of course, it came time for them to finally in earnest go after Donald Trump, which coincided with them receiving a $1.5 billion paycheck. Curious that, isn't it? But of course, nothing screwed South Park more than the Charlie Kirk fiasco. All right, here we are. And of course, South Park is kind of in big trouble. Now, before we get into this, I want to make it clear. Poke fun at whoever you want. That's fine. If they'd done a Trump episode where he's dating Satan and he's behaving like Saddam Hussein in the movie, yeah, all right, come on, all right, it's cheap. The jokes about him being fat or having a small pee-pee, it's a little basic for South Park, you know, but oh well, whatever. But then they doubled down, they tripled down, it went on and on and on, and of course, Charlie Kirk got into it. Now, Charlie Kirk was the ultimate good sport about it, but a month later, he was dead. It wasn't even a month. Now, I don't blame South Park for that. There's no way they could have known. They did kind of increase the profile of Charlie Kirk to a level it had never seen before in the zeitgeist, though. Certainly made a lot of people more aware of him and who he is. Now, if I was someone who hated Charlie Kirk enough to, you know, sit on top, camping on top of a building and waiting for the right moment to strike. Him becoming more and more and more and more famous on TV that's watched by both sides, that would really boil my piss. Just say it. Of course, I absolutely abhor this guy, what he did to Charlie Kirk, everything that happened as a result of it. Seriously, death penalty. I don't give a fuck. Do it. I do not forgive, no matter what Erica Kirk says. But, yeah, South Park's they've really screwed themselves. That much, I think, at this point, no matter where you align politically, is an incontrovertible fact. And in no way is that more clear than right here. From the Hollywood Reporter, South Park to skip another week as creators issue last-minute statement. And here, from the Economic Times. South Park Season 27, Episode 5, new release date revealed. Will it be a Charlie Kirk episode? Well, that is the question, isn't it? Because, you see, they've screwed themselves royally by being tied to this insane moment of American history. The latest, I don't want to invoke things necessarily that will upset people, but the latest 9/11 level event in America, Charlie Kirk. Now, Charlie Kirk was the ultimate good sport. Of course he was. He was a Jesus guy. He laughed. He said they got him. They even got him down to like drinking his water and his coffee while people are asking the questions, looking like he's not paying attention, but then zeroing in on what they said perfectly. They did a good job. A roast of Charlie Kirk. Unfortunately, everything that followed in some way can be, if you want to be a little uncharitable, attributed to South Park. It's unfortunate, but, you know, you guys made the bed. In a surprise move, it's not a surprise. This is not a surprise, guys. They've delayed like 3 episodes now as they desperately attempt to produce TV that is both narratively following the overarching theme of the series and also touching on the moment-to-moment news of the week. But unfortunately, when the moment-to-moment news of the week is the death of the guy you roasted, followed by the unification and uprising of the side that opposes liberals, of course they're delaying episodes. If I was them, I'd be facing my hands like, I don't know where to look. Who can we poke fun at? I'd be deathly scared that the next person I make a joke about will get a bullet in the neck. But again, you did it yourselves. Anyway, and again, I don't want South Park to change. I don't want South Park to stop doing what they do. It's good that they do. It's good that someone does, but they are definitely not poking fun at both sides now. Unless they release an episode with a dribbly Joe Biden falling off his bicycle and a lushed out alcoholic fucking Kamala Harris standing next to him going the whole time, it's not even anymore, is it? But anyway, they've announced that a new South Park episode will not air this week as scheduled after series co-creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone admitted they'd failed to complete the episode in time. So much for 6 days to air. It was originally set to release on Wednesday. The announcement marks one of the rare occasions where the long-running animated comedy series missed its broadcast slot due to production hurdles. In a joint statement, Parker and Stone acknowledged the delay with characteristic humor. Apparently, when you do everything at the last minute, sometimes you don't get it done. This one's on us. We didn't get it done in time. Thanks to Comedy Central and South Park fans for being so understanding. Tune in next week. Yeah, very stiff upper lip there, guys. It's more like, apparently when you do everything at the last minute and it coincides with the rise of political violence and the pressure cooker that's been building up from left-wing dehumanization of their enemies for the last 10 years, yeah, the news is going to explode every now and then with multiple crazy stories. You are not going to know where to turn at all. Yes, this is cope. Straight cope. The apology reflects the show's famously fast-paced production process, often turning real-world events into episodes within days. However, the compressed timelines also left the show vulnerable to last-minute issues such as this one. The postponed episode is especially notable as it would have been the first since the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was shot dead on a Utah campus on September the 10th. The tragedy came weeks after South Park aired an episode titled Got a Nut on August 6th, which parodied Kirk's politics and public style. The episode featured provocative lines referencing race, religion, and gender, and ended with the character winning the fictional Charlie Kirk Award for Young Master Debaters. Following Kirk's killing, Comedy Central pulled Got a Nut, which they shouldn't have, by the way. They should definitely not do that. Do not do that. Definitely do not do that. First of all, it's self-censorship, which is never good. And secondly, people will blame it on the Trump administration, which is definitely not good. The delay has sparked speculation over whether Parker and Stone are adjusting storylines in responses to Kirk's death. Well, they fucking better be. Cartman turning into Charlie Kirk was clearly going to be a major theme of this series, and now it can't be. Or whether the reasons are purely technical, the creators have not commented further. I mean, what's he going to do now? Turn into Ben Shapiro? He can't. He hates Jews. Maybe he can turn into Michael Knowles or Matt Walsh. Fucking Candace Owens. That would be funny. Black trans Cartman doing a Candace Owens. That would be funny. When will South Park return? September 24th. Afterwards, the show will take a 2-week hiatus again. You guys just need to admit that it's not worked. The model won't work as long as the political situation is as crazy as it is. Stick to other things. Stick to cultural issues, not political issues. You have become too political, and now it's fucked you. Not as badly as what happened to Charlie Kirk, but as a byproduct, it ain't helped them either. Stop it. Step back. Talk about other things. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the South Park Season 27, Episode 5 release date officially shifts from September 17th to September 24th. Fans who eagerly await the next chapter of the show's satirical take on politics and pop culture will have to exercise patience for just a little longer. But at the end of the day, does any of that matter? Because when South Park does come back, everybody's going to be scrutinizing the hell out of it. More so than Jimmy Kimmel. And unfortunately, while I stand for their right to poke fun at whoever the hell they like, it's their own freaking fault that this has happened. It is. There you go. Sad, sad times. Miss Marley for $2.49 says money. That's euros. Thank you very much. And Eris Rhoda gifted a membership. Thank you very much indeed as well. We are 18 out of 50. We may be able to do a Jackbox stream by the end of the year at this rate. Thank you. That's a joke, of course. But, you know, I appreciate that anybody is donating anything at all. That's really great. And, yeah. I mean, I definitely want us to be able to do a Jackbox stream as soon as possible. I was kind of hoping it would happen tonight, but, well, maybe not. That's all right. I can wrap up Metal Gear Solid instead. Plus, I want to get on to playing Pal World with James Opp as well, because he's built us a server that I need to go into and help test with him, and then a bunch of us will be able to play it together on the server if we want to. So shout out to him. And we'll definitely have to take a look at that going forward. But in the meantime, yeah, I mean, I do love the Jackbox streams. I'd love to get some more of that done. But that's the member bar at the top. 18 out of 50. So what's that? 22? 32? God, well, I really am not working today, am I? My brain is just not working. Anyway, there we go. And I think we'll finish up with one more topic. This one's really crazy. Now, guys, I was planning to react to the Erica Kirk speech today, but, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. I really feel like it's going to affect me emotionally, and I have too much other news that I need to cover. So I think what I'll do is, if you can stand to wait a little longer, we'll do it on the Friday edition of HyperDrive Time, when there's less of a rush to produce content, and a little bit more freedom for me to react to things, and I'll sit and watch it then. So there we go. However, in the meantime, there is one more silly thing I want to talk about. But before that, Smegheads for an Australian 2. Thoughts on Nintendo's patent? Fuck Nintendo and their retarded patent that shouldn't even be possible. Their patent is complete bollocks. They shouldn't have been able to patent a mechanic like summoning a sub character to fight for you, and it doesn't even fly in the USA anyway. I think I saw Legal Mindset earlier on talking about how they would end up having to sue the United States. All right, go ahead, Nintendo. Look, at the end of the day, everything Nintendo's done since about March this year has been singularly focused on destroying their relationship with gamers and their reputation in the games industry. Everything. And the patent crap that they've pulled is one of these like last minute ditch things where like, oh, we've got to quickly make sure that we have a legal defense. Quick, patent Pokeballs. No, wait. Patent all summons. Okay, so what's next? You're going to sue World of Warcraft for the Hunter class? Summoner class in Final Fantasy? Like, does Nintendo own those now too? Or is it all, in fact, a bunch of complete bullshit? I think you know where I stand. Crazy. Nintendo. Fucking imbeciles. Patent all load screens. Yeah. Every game in the world will have to owe you money. It's not how it works, Nintendo. Maybe that's how it works in Japan, but it certainly ain't how it works in the West. The West is a little different, baby. We do not stand for this kind of shit.
By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Anyway, let's crack on. Now, a game I don't really talk about very much. A game I don't really talk about very much is Fortnite. I've played it a few times. It's fun. It's cool. I know the kids love it. The last time I talked about Fortnite was when they had an AI Darth Vader addition to it that you could voice chat with, and people were getting him to drop the N-bomb. It was glorious. It was a throwback to the old Wild West days of the internet that kind of came to a screeching halt in around 2014 with Gamergate 1. I'd love to go back to those times. I really would. Back when you could log into a Modern Warfare lobby and a 10-year-old would threaten to go to bed with your mother, call you an N slur, an F slur, an R slur, and various other words I can't say in the first couple of minutes of a video on YouTube. But in Fortnite, apparently, is willing to oblige. I might have to get into this game. Because you see, Fortnite has just recently brought in a new feature called Proximity Chat. Now, I'm going to be looking at this blind, but if that's what it sounds like, sort of sounds like you're going to end up hearing and seeing a lot of things that you don't want to hear and see. Things that might offend you. And I am so very here for it. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen. So here we are. Fortnite's new proximity chat has led to thousands banned. Yes! I mean, no for banning. No. Stop this rubbish. The grift is over, okay? The safety online shit grift is over. Okay, YouTube's confessing to censorship. X is as free as it's ever been. Facebook has community notes. It's over. We've won. However, they will try. And when I'm cheering, the reason I'm cheering is because that means that something is happening in large enough scale that makes them get their panties in a bunch. And you love to see it. You love to see it. And when someone says, oh, think of the children, fuck the children. Not literally. And, you know, don't let them on. That's it. Or have lobbies for adults and lobbies for minors, you know? And have filters that eradicate you from that server forever if you violate those rules. It's not hard. I mean, it's the same feature basically as how YouTube should basically be able to give you the power to tell people whether your channel has swearing, whether your channel has offensive jokes, and let people make up their own damn minds if they want to subscribe or not. Imagine that. That would be freedom, wouldn't it? But anyway, let's get into it then. Fortnite's new proximity chat has led to thousands being banned. You know, when you do this long enough, you get a certain radar, a certain ability to sniff out a shit show. So let's see what's up. Epic recently introduced a divisive and potentially reckless proximity chat to Fortnite. Shut up, Grant. Man up. Available exclusively in the new and limited time Delulu mode. They're actually calling it Delulu mode. That's amazing. That's amazing. Are you completely delusional? You should come and play Fortnite Delulu mode. Are you ideologically captured and offended by everything? Welcome to Delulu mode. Man up. It has proven to be a bit of a nightmare with users in social circles reporting all manner of abuse coming over the airwaves in Fortnite. Yes! Yes! I want it. In a post on social media, the Fortnite status channel revealed that thousands of players were banned this weekend. I'm sorry. I feel bad if you got banned from Fortnite, but that is so funny. That is so funny. You got banned because what happened related to voice chat behavior most likely detected while playing the new Delulu mode. Yes. They turned Fortnite into a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Yes! Why did Epic add proximity chat to Fortnite? Why indeed? Adding proximity chat to a game that's focused heavily on younger players is a bit of a misstep, it feels. It's not that oriented to young players. Yes, of course, they'd like it to be, but there's plenty of adults who play it. And also, just as an aside, have you ever spoken to kids? Like, do you know how kids talk to each other? Don't you remember being at school? Mate, it was Modern Warfare in live all the time. Epic has added proximity chat for the new Delulu mode because it's all about making partnerships on the go as a match unravels, then potentially turning on your newfound friends. It's the internet. It's 4chan. Come on. To secure the grand prize. This is glorious. This is glorious. It's like they're trying to nuke their own game. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. However, it has inevitably led to toxicity surfacing. Toxicity! With players mistreating the proximity chat in Fortnite, just like they did with AI Darth Vader, getting him to say N-words and R slurs and F slurs and everything, baby. In Fortnite to hurl racist, sexist, and other kinds of abuse at their opponents. Yeah! Yes! Come on, get in there. Amazing. This is what you want, guys. This is it. Leave people to their own devices and you will get 4chan. You will get Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. This is the internet. Welcome. Would you like a guide? Because it does get crazy. I love it. I love it. These are the reports that have been appearing on platforms like Reddit. In a recent post on social media, Epic revealed how the team has banned thousands of abusive players in the last couple of days. I mean, I wish they weren't getting banned, but look at how many people are just abusing the fuck out of this system to call people racist and sexist names. Yes! Yes! Reality is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Based is back in force. I am so happy to say this. Oh, yeah. Remember to report voice chat behavior in game that violates our community rules. No. Suck it. This gives us evidence to quickly take action against rule breakers. Just make separate lobbies, mate. Just make 18 plus lobbies. That's all you got to do. That's it. The kids will infiltrate 18 plus lobbies unless you age restrict them. Then, of course, if you find adults going in and abusing the systems in the under 18s rooms, then done. Ban them. And if you go into the 18 servers, you can expect to be called iDubbbz's favorite insult. Anyway, there you go. Open the sidebar, go to the voice chat, choose report conversation, hit submit. There you go. There you go. Funny, isn't it? How you can have a monstrous visage with a giant what are they called? Tarkatans from Mortal Kombat mouth. Yeah. Anyway, one user commented under this post, I played late last night when it was just adults, and the game was fun and chill, and there was a great vibe. Played during the day today with half the lobby being kids, and it was a toxic hell zone. Make of that what you will. Yes! Yes! Won't somebody think of the children? Oh, mate. Maybe I will write a book one day about all of this stuff. Another wrote, I was called the hard R by a 10-year-old. Yes. Yes. Oh, mate, it's so good. The toxic shit is back, baby. The boys are back in town. Yeah. This is glorious. I don't give a fuck if you're offended by it. This is glorious. Other users referred to proximity chat as the worst feature ever added to Fortnite. It was almost impossible to find much praise for the Delulu mode whatsoever, with many standing perplexed as to why Epic decided to add it in the first place, because it's funny. Perhaps it's some shadowy way to weed out the abusive players in the game. Well, you know what you could do instead, Grant Taylor Hill, is grow the fuck up. Grow up, mate. I like a lot of the stuff that this guy writes, but let's be honest here. He has just spent this, whatever, few hundred words being a whiny bitch. I suggest you go play some Delulu mode and find out what the internet's really like. Because I'm so fucking happy to see this. I'm so happy. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was called a hard R by a 10-year-old. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, mate, the winning never stops. 2025, apart from a couple of awful things, one of the better years I can remember for a long time. Fortnite, stay based. What do you think of that, you bastards? Pretty good, right? How did they not know this would happen? Exactly. Did they not play COD back in the day? They already had group chat. There was no need to add proximity chat. Yeah, but that's the fun, isn't it? Like the fun of going into a lobby and getting called all these horrible names by a bunch of disgusting, nasty little shits. And of course, it's the kids. Of course, it's the kids who are the worst of all. You gotta love it, mate. You gotta love it. There we go. I think this was the whole purpose. What, to weed out edgy people or just to sow chaos? I think it's brilliant, mate. I think it's brilliant. You're like, okay, let's go up that hill, take these guys out. Okay, great. All right, you go over there. What are you doing? See you later, N-word. Bang. Beautiful. Beautiful. Because there was a beautiful time between about 2000 and 2014, where the internet was the Wild West. Anything could happen. I mean, just as an example, for those who don't believe me, maybe you remember a little campaign called Dub the Do. Now, if that doesn't ring any bells, allow me to illustrate. It was a campaign by Mountain Dew where you were going to be allowed to send in your suggestions for their new apple flavor and what it should be called. Dub the Do, right? How do you think that went? I'm trying to remember when this was. I feel like it was around 2011, maybe 2010. Yeah, it was like 13 years ago. All right. So how do you think it went? Well, let's see now. The top 10 leaderboard after this was leaked to 4chan. In 10th position, Gushing Green Granny. In 9th position, Fabulous Apple. In 8th position, Gushing Granny. In 7th place, Gushing Grannies. In 6th place, Granny's Squirt. In 5th place, Gushing Granny. In 4th place, Diabetes. In 3rd, Fapple. Fapple. That's great. In 2nd, Gushing Granny. And in number 1 position from the 2012 Dub the Do leaderboard, number 1 was H-Man did nothing wrong. So don't come crying to me, Mr. Taylor, whatever your name is, about how Fortnite's new proximity chat mode, where you can walk into any conversation at any time and hear anything on the internet, isn't fucking hilarious. I was called a hard R by a 10-year-old. Yeah, you were. Welcome to the internet. We were all forged in the fires of hate and turned it into a place of love. And then you came with your censorship. Well, suck my cock. There we go. There we go. Oh, that was a good time. I remember, I think I saw that on, I don't know if it was like 9gag or something back in the day. Jesus. No, it's one of these meme sites that I used to go to. I don't think I ever laughed that hard in my life as when I read the number one for Dub the Do. Man, I want to go play Fortnite now and get onto the proximity chat and start calling people the N-word. It's got to be hilarious. That's what the internet was built on, buddy. Racial slurs and sexism. Believe it. There we go. All right, we will be wrapping up the stream at this time. Thank you very much to everybody. Unfortunately, we didn't even get to the halfway point on the bar, unless somebody wants to jump in off the top rope right about now. We managed to get to 18 out of 50 members towards the next Jackbox stream. That will not be happening today, but it will be happening when that bar is filled. As for the red bar, we got to almost halfway, and I really appreciate you guys. You guys have been great today. It's been a really fun show. Sorry I made a few cock-ups. It was really startling at the beginning when I just could not get YouTube to recognize that I was sending it a live stream. StreamYard, you got some splaining to do. Anyway, I will be back with another edition of this show on Friday. But before that, I will be back tomorrow night or morning or wherever you are. Same time, same channel with Rhoda and John for, of course, WTF Live. And we'll have a great old time pulling apart this insanity. Left, right, and center. Cookie Kaiju with a $10 Canadian super sticker. I don't know how much that is. What's 10 Canadian dollars? In USD, like 7. Thank you. All right. That's amazing. Thank you very much. I will just give me a second and I can do, let's see. What can I do? I can give one of these. Yeah, that'll work. And something like this as well. And we should end up, no, another couple. Let's add another couple on there as well. Fuck, whatever. Approximately right anyway. And appreciate you. What was the sticker? Let's have a look. Where's the window gone? Oh, there it is. It's a flying pear in a cape and a jogging sweatband. Cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much for that. Yeah, there we go. Tomorrow will be weird. Why is it going to be weird? You're switching from early to late shift, so we'll be on stream before work instead of after. Oh, right. Okay. Well, cool. I mean, not to one-up you or anything, but I routinely have to sleep at all kinds of crazy times. So I've had to get used to streaming in various states of awake or tiredness, and you just get used to it, don't you? Just do it. But there you go. Anyway, I appreciate you being there for it, and thank you very much to everybody that has put us over the halfway line. So thank you, Cookie Kaiju. let's go.
Money, 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 print money, money, cash, money, well, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, money, more money, 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 heaps and heaps of money, 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 print money, money, cash, money, well, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, money, super chat money.
As salty as the sea, calling us code names. SJW screaming, but it's money they blame. Burning with envy, they're falling flat. They can't handle the sound of a super chat.
Oh, these? My boobies? My massive fucking titties? My super stuffed up milkies? My hunger bonger doinky boinkies? My fucking fabric stretching, wind flapping, gravity welling sex mounds? You mean these super duper ultra hyper goddamn motherfucking...
No! What the hell is this at the last minute? James up for $20 says, sorry, tweaking stuffs on the server, trying to import my bases. I did see in the corner of my screen earlier that you were on Pal World, buddy. That's what reminded me to shout it out. I will do my best, probably over this weekend, to try and find a little pocket of time we can get together and have a play on that. And once that's all tested and working, we will farm it out to anyone in the chat who wants to join us, and we will have our own server to play Pal World on. That'll be fucking glorious. I don't know anything about setting up private servers or even playing on them, frankly. I'm never going to try and pretend that I'm an expert in something I'm not, but you seem to know what you're doing, so I'll be very happy to be led into how we're going to do that. My God, though, mate, thank you very much. Appreciate you just slamming that bar. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. All right, well, there we go. What can I play for this? Well,
I got this new anime plot. Basically, there's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, some serious hunkers. A real set of badonkers. Packing some Doban hunkeros. Massive da hunka bankaloos. Big old Tanhangera cougars. What happens next? Transfer student shows up one day with even bigger Bankhanaga hoogs. Humongous hungalamga no logangas.
Thank you very, very much indeed. I appreciate you a great deal. That should probably be higher than that. Yeah, that should definitely be a lot higher than that. About this much higher. There you go. That's where it should be. I'll just use that one from earlier to do it. You have to re-click super chats and things to add them, and it's really annoying because you don't want the alert box to show up, but you have to add that cash. Thank you very much, James Up. You're a fucking legend, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. When are we going to play Final Fantasy 14, Rhoda? Soon. Not particularly soon, but soon. It'll happen. It'll happen. Eventually we'll have, a guild of the fans or whatever. Free company of the fans. I think I still have a free company, actually. Could just rename it. Anyway, there we go. Anyway, beautiful stream. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all. You've been amazing. Special thank yous to Gooty or Gutty Grifter. I don't know how you want me to pronounce it. I'm going to go with Gooty because it's only one T. Smegheads, Furious Dan, Gooty Grifter again, Stephen Bromby, Paul Thomas Ashworth, Miss Molly, Gooty Grifter, DramaticaLaur, Gooty Grifter again, Smegheads, Demon Carol, Eris Rhoda, Demon Carol, Miss Molly again, Eris Rhoda, Smegheads, Cookie, Kaiju, and James Up, you fucking legends.
Show them what you do.
Beautiful. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with WTF Live with the boys. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a Jackbox stream after that. It could always happen. Of course, as always, remember, only acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, and nothing in between.
Alphabeti spaghetti!
And I will leave you guys with the credits at this time. So, till then, take care, spike your hair, peace in the Middle East, see you in hell, and latest.